Isn't it just fantastic to finally board your long awaited cruise, only to be met with screaming kids, cannonballs at the pool, and toddlers weaving through your legs and up and down the stairs? If you're ready for a cruise that's all about relaxation, stick around. We're revealing the top adults only cruises for 2025 and pro tips on finding peace at sea, no matter when or where you sail.
Now, don't get us wrong. We love kids and we've sailed with kids. We have a kid that we went on many great cruises with, but let's be honest, a lot of times we just want to sail with other adults and we don't want to deal with children. So this is going to show you exactly how you can ensure that your sailing is 100% kid-free or as close as we can possibly get it. Now, the most obvious way to do this is on two cruise lines that are adults only. The first, of course, is Virgin Voyages. They have three cruise ships, about to have a fourth cruise ship. We've done other videos on these, including a review, so we'll put some links to that down below. It's a great way to cruise, and it's fairly all-inclusive. Any sailing on Virgin Voyages, you can check the box and be kid-free. The second, of course, is Viking Voyages. Viking is also adults only. You can have that cultural immersion, and you don't have kids screaming around the dining room, so you can have that great experience. Now, these are the easy ways to do it, right? So obviously Virgin and Viking, you're good, you're set. But what about all the other cruise lines out there? You may want to sail on a Holland America, a Princess, a Celebrity, a Royal Caribbean. So what we want to do is share with you how you can sail on those cruise lines, which sometimes can be packed with kids, but do it in a way where probably it's going to be 95% or more adults and very few kids. Plus, have some pretty amazing deals that we want to share at the end of this video. I found 5 really great adult-only deals that you may want to look into for 2025.
One strategy to avoid kids is to travel in the shoulder season. So this means late spring, it means fall, and especially avoiding holidays like Christmas, winter break, spring break, and the summertime.
This is also going to save you a lot of money because typically cruises cost a lot less in the shoulder season. So not only will you have a ton less kids, you'll also save quite a bit of money. Remember, spring breaks can be different around the country. So don't think it's just the 1 week that you have in your state or your city. You pretty much need to block out probably most of March and part of April. But then you get a little window before the summer. And then, of course, like Monica mentioned, steer clear of summer. There are a few exceptions. Sometimes Northern Europe is fine during the summer. It's not really a kid's destination. Another way to do it is to look at itineraries, focus more for adults. Any 3, 4, 5 day, or really 7 day or less, you're usually going to find more children on board. However, when you start to get above 7 days, that's when you're going to see a lot less kids. We've sailed on 45, almost 50 cruises. And this has been our experience. Again, we're not saying that you'll be on a cruise with 0 kids if you're not on Viking or Virgin, but this is a way to really minimize it. We've had a few videos on doing a transatlantic or trans-Pacific. We've done these on the mass market cruise lines like Royal Caribbean, and sure, there might be a child here and there, but overwhelmingly, there's a few kids on those sailings. And any other type of repositioning cruise, like one way where you start in one city, end up in another one, and it's more than 7 days, you're going to find that it's mostly adults on those sailings.
So another way to naturally have fewer kids on your cruise would be to look at a more luxury ship experience. The smaller ships, more boutique ship experiences like Azamara, Seabourn, Silver Sea, and Oceania.
Yeah, these cruises tend to be, of course, amongst the most expensive. I made sure when we show you the great deals at the end of the video, we're not just going to focus on the most expensive luxury ships, though that is certainly a solution for some of you. It doesn't mean you won't find a kid on any of these. We've sailed in Oceania, we've sailed on Silver Sea and Azamara. We've seen kids under 18 here and there, but it's very few. You can also focus on smaller yacht-style cruises. We've done Windstar cruises. Typically, you're not going to find many kids, but you will find kids if you go during spring break. Don't always think you're going to avoid it. You want to put several of these strategies together, which is really the key. So shoulder season, longer itinerary, maybe repositioning, a smaller ship. Then you start to stack those. That's less and less kids.
Another strategy would be to take a river cruise, especially European river cruises. These tend to focus on things that maybe kids don't love, like art and history and local experiences. Some of these are through wine countries like Portugal or the wine country of France or Germany.
Anything that's going to put kids to sleep is probably a good thing. History and art and maybe wine is probably going to keep the kids away. If you go on a cruise line that focuses on enrichment, culinary, art classes, those things kids don't want. So if it doesn't have a water park or bumper cars or an arcade, a large kids club, then you know that you're going to much more likely be on a cruise that is going to be catered towards adults and not children. One big thing that you want to do is avoid family oriented ships. And there's several things here. One is the largest ships and the newest ships from the more mass market cruise lines. Those are the ones you're going to want to avoid. An Icon of the Seas from Royal Caribbean, probably not where you want to be. But an older ship from Royal Caribbean, that could be a great idea. It's much less likely to attract a lot of kids. If it doesn't have a water park, check. That could be pretty good. If it has a lot adult only areas, that's really good. If the entertainment, right, appeals more to adults, whether it's the music styles on board, it's the shows, that's going to help as well. Another big advantage when you avoid booking the newest, shiniest ships, go for the prior generation. You're going to save money, number one. You're going to have reduced crowds because typically a lot fewer kids are on board. Even if a ship is sold out, if kids are not on board, there's very few triple and quadruple occupancy. So that's why sometimes people say, oh, I'm on a transatlantic and the ship is sold out. But then when we're on it, it doesn't feel as busy as normal because you're not sailing with every cabin having 3 or 4 people in it.
Those are some strategies. Now let's get to the deals.
What we're going to do is share with you 5 really great deals that we found for 2025 that you're sure to be with adults primarily, or maybe all adults. The first couple deals here are great because they're on cruise lines that are adults only, that they restrict anybody who is under 18 years of age. But then we're going to combine some of the strategies we just taught you to show you how you can sail on a cruise line that typically could have 500 or more kids, but actually have very few children likely on board. So let's start with Virgin Voyages on the Brilliant Lady, adults only. This cruise is called the Canada, Carolina, and Miami. It's pretty neat sailing. It starts in Quebec City in Canada and then sails down to Miami, which is nice. So Quebec City is fairly easy to get to from a number of airports on the East Coast. And of course, anybody can get anywhere from Miami. It sails on October 3rd, 2025. You get 13 nights on the Brilliant Lady. And it hits places in Canada, Halifax, St. John. You hit Maine at Eastport. You go to Boston and Charleston. So you get some really great US cities. And then you end up in Miami. From there, you can go wherever you want. Really great deals overall for Virgin Voyages. About some of the lowest that I've seen that are not repositioning transatlantics. In this case, under $350 for 2 of you per day. And it's mostly all inclusive on Virgin Voyages. This includes the tips, the taxes, your sailing, your specialty restaurants, your basic internet. It's under $175 per person per day. You know, can you do that with a hotel and restaurants and travel? Probably not. So if you want to jump up to a balcony, it's just $426 per day per couple for a balcony cabin. And if you want to really have some fun, do a back-to-back. You can sail out of New York, do the sailing before, get the sailing up to Quebec City. So leave out of New York, do that sailing, and then do the back-to-back with this sailing. You can do the same thing at the end of the cruise. When you end in Miami, they start doing several Caribbean cruises before doing a Panama Canal over to California. So there's a lot of fun you can have with this as your foundation if you want to go for more than 13 nights. But a really great deal on Virgin for a cruise that's not a traditional transatlantic. And by the way, there's a promotion going right now on Virgin Red where you can buy points with a 70% bonus. You buy points on Virgin, and they have a number of cruises where you can use your points to book cruises. The cruises start at 140,000 points. What this means is if you purchase, let's say, 100,000 points, you're going to get 70% more for free. You'll end up with 170,000 points. If you use the points with the 70% bonus, you can actually have some of the cheapest per day that I've seen on Virgin, but it's on a select number of cruises. So you might want to look into this. I'll put a link down below so you can investigate this some more.
We have 4 more deals that we'll share with you in a moment. But if you'd like to hear more about being able to travel the world on a budget while saving money, then go get our free guide. Discover how you can save thousands on your next adventure. Just click the QR code or go to the link, sign up, and you'll get our free guide.
Please subscribe to the channel. Like you see there on the screen, about 90% of you watching are not subscribed, and subscribing just takes a click, and that really helps the channel out a lot. So we'll keep making videos just like this for all of you. So let's go into deal number 2, Viking Cruises, adults only. So we're good, no kids. Viking Mars is the ship. We've been on the Viking Mars.
No, we've been on the Saturn and the Orion.
It's called the Classic Panama Canal Passage. It leaves out of Fort Lauderdale, super easy to get to. You end up in Panama City, Panama. Very easy to get direct flights back to the US. It leaves on December 10th. What I liked about this, 2025, is you get back before Christmas. So if that's any concern, don't worry. You're back before the holidays. You hit Cozumel, Belize City, Roatan, which is in Honduras. You get to go to Limon. Am I saying that right?
Puerto Limon.
Yeah, Puerto Limon in Costa Rica, Colon in Panama, and you even get to do some of the Panama Canal as a transit. That's a pretty special opportunity as well. Now, look, Viking is not inexpensive. This is one of the better deals I could find on Viking, but it's $714 per day per couple, all inclusive. It's a balcony cabin. It's going to include your internet, your tips, your taxes, your specialty restaurants, your Wi-Fi. You have free laundry if you need it on the cruise. Even though it's more than some other cruise lines, remember everything that is included. So that's a great way if you want to step up and do a more luxurious sailing on Viking. This would be a great choice.
Our next cruise deal is on Holland America on board the Zuiderdam. This one goes up the Atlantic seaboard. You can get a little bit of New England and Quebec City. This one is an example of stacking different strategies. It's in the shoulder season, so May, before the summer comes along. You have a longer cruise, it's 15 nights. Generally, longer cruises will avoid having a lot of children. And there's no rides, no water parks or anything like that. And it's a one-way starts in Fort Lauderdale and ends in Quebec City.
Yes, that's always going to be a good formula, like you see at the bottom of the slide. When you can stack our strategies together, that's what you look to do. The big advantage is that you can sail on cruise lines that typically have a lot of kids. You could do this on Royal Caribbean as well, because Royal Caribbean typically does cater to children and multi-generational sailings. But if you stack these strategies together, you're going to be sailing mostly kid-free. Also, you're going to get some great deals. You can see on this Holland America sailing, on an inside cabin, literally $208 per day per couple. And a lot is included. This is not an all-inclusive type of sailing. If you want to go ahead and get internet, specialty restaurants, alcoholic beverages, unlike, for instance, on Viking, like we shared with you before, you are going to pay extra for that. It's a great low base rate to start. You can get ocean view if an inside cabin maybe scares you for whatever reason. And even if you want to jump up and just get a full balcony cabin at $341 per day per couple, think about getting a hotel room in any of the cities listed that you're going to hit, like Norfolk, Newport, Boston, Portland, Maine, Halifax, Sydney. This includes everything else, including your entertainment, basic food, and transportation. So this is a really nice deal on Holland America. The next one is on Celebrity Cruises, one of our favorite cruise lines. This is on the Reflection, which is in the Solstice class. This combines, like Monica showed you, some of our strategies. Your past Labor Day, in this case, September 20th. It's a longer cruise. It's 9 nights. We're going to the Caribbean on this one. Normally, you would expect a lot of children on board a sailing line. It's leaving out of the U.S. Again, more kids. Typically, if you do a sailing in Asia or Europe, you start to have fewer kids. But this one is right in the epicenter, typically, where you'd expect kids. But it's Celebrity, so that's a few less kids. It's the Reflection, which is a great class of ships, but it's not the brand new class, like the Edge class. You're going shoulder season. It's a longer cruise. Definitely doesn't have any rides on it. And you're going to hit Puerto Plata in Dominican Republic, St. Thomas, Antigua, St. Lucia, St. Kitts. If you need some sun, great weather, and a great deal, this is really an amazing choice. Look at the pricing again on this one. $216 per day per couple. Again, I got to stress the pricing we show is when we record this. It could go up. It probably will. But when we're recording, this is available. And that does include taxes and gratuities. Jump up to a balcony, you still stay under $300 per day, which is amazing, $285. You see how you roll the strategies together. That's going to give you close to an adult's sailing. Let's end with the best deal of all. All right, so let's go ahead with the best deal. This one is on Princess Cruises, and we combine multiple different strategies here. Once again, this leaves out of Galveston, ends up in Galveston, Texas, January 29, 2025. You get 11 nights, which is amazing. It's a Western Caribbean with Mexico. Look at the stops that you get. You get Jamaica, Grand Cayman, Roatan, Costa Maya, Belize City, Cozumel. But look at the prices, right? Under $200 a day, meaning under $100 per day per person to jump up to a balcony. Not much more, $234. A mini suite, if you want a bigger room with a few extra perks, just $327 per day per couple. There's a lot of additional things you can upgrade to with Princess Cruises, but you can see how low you can at least get into this cruise for. Again, this combines multiple strategies. It's past New Year's, past Christmas. It's a longer cruise. It's the prior ship generation. So you're starting to get the idea on how you do this if you want to sail on one of these type of cruise lines at a great deal, but have mostly adults. We're not going to say there's going to be no kids on board because, of course, some people homeschool, some people take their kids with them. Sometimes people will take babies with them that are not in school. They can go anytime. Even when we travel with our child, We did sometimes do this.
This is about the time of the winter when you're going to want to get out of the US and get down to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
There you have it, the key to peace and quiet on a cruise. Tell us, do you try to avoid children when you cruise? Do you have any tips? Do you have any funny stories? We'd love to hear all about it. If you want to just comment below.
And leave a comment down below as well if you find a great deal on adults cruise. That'll help a lot of other people watching these. We all want to share this information. Like Monica mentioned, any other strategy you have, we would love to hear that. Again, we love kids, and we'll do a future video probably on multi-generational cruising because that's a lot of fun as well. But this is all about us sailing with our peers and people of our ages and how to get the best possible deals on those sailings. We've got some additional videos here that you can watch that shows you how to save a lot on your next cruise as well as on your next shore excursion. So go ahead and watch those. And there's a lot of links down below to all of these cruises that we mentioned, plus some links to some of our other favorite gear and ways that we save on our travel. So we'll be back with you on the next video.
And we'll see you out there.